Welcome to this deep dive
Okay.
into health.
All right.
We're going to explore this website that aims to be, your go-to resource for all things health and wellness. With so much health information online these days,
Right.
sometimes it feels impossible to know where to even begin, right?
It really does.
So we're diving into health to see if it lives up to its promise
Okay.
as a trusted, comprehensive source for all your health needs.
Makes sense.
What's immediately apparent is that health offers
Yeah.
like a really wide range of content.
Yeah, you can find everything from,
Yeah.
like breaking news,
Oh,
like a frozen food recall, to in-depth articles on anxiety, to practical advice on healthy eating.
yeah.
It's like they're trying to create a one-stop shop for anyone and everyone
Man.
interested in their well-being.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
And speaking of breaking news,
Mm-hmm.
I have to admit the story about the frozen food recall
Yeah.
really grabbed my attention. It's a little unsettling to think that pancakes and waffles from brands I actually use,
Oh, wow.
like Trader Joe's and Whole Foods, could be contaminated.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. It's definitely a reminder that even seemingly harmless foods
Right.
can pose risks. And it highlights how health aims to keep you informed
Yeah.
about the latest health developments that could directly impact your life.
Right.
They're not just reporting on scientific breakthroughs,
Yeah.
they're also flagging things like
Uh-huh.
product recalls and safety alerts.
Absolutely. It's
Yeah.
like they're saying, hey,
Mhm.
we're here to help you navigate the everyday challenges of staying healthy, too.
Exactly. But beyond those attention-grabbing headlines,
Yeah.
they also delve into topics that many people grapple with on a daily basis.
Right.
Take, for instance, their article,
Mhm.
Is decaf or regular coffee better for you?
Oh, for sure.
It's a question I know a lot of people have, myself included.
Yeah, I go back and forth between decaf and regular all the time.
Yeah.
So what does health have to say about it?
Well, they highlight that both types of coffee have their own set of potential benefits.
Right.
Regular coffee with its caffeine
Yeah.
can boost alertness and cognitive function,
Yeah.
which might appeal to you given your line of work.
Mm.
On the other hand, they point out that decaf might be a better choice
Yeah.
for people who are sensitive to caffeine or experience anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
It seems health strives to present a balanced view,
Yeah.
acknowledging that what's better really depends on
Right.
individual needs and preferences.
I like that.
Yeah.
It feels less like they're dictating what you should do
Right.
and more like they're providing the information you need to make your own informed choices.
Yeah.
But of course, you're only going to make informed choices if you trust
Right.
the information you're getting.
Right. And health seems very aware of the need to establish
Yeah.
trust and credibility.
Uh-huh.
You see this in how they highlight their team of over 140 medical experts.
Yeah.
Plus, they've been around for over 40 years and reach a vast audience with claims of 134 million people annually.
That's a pretty substantial reach.
It is.
And it does lend a sense of authority.
Right.
They also have that medical expert board
Yeah.
with folks like Dakari Quimby, the psychologist, and Carrie Peterson,
Yeah.
the internal medicine doctor.
Right.
Do they actually play an active role in the content?
It seems so. Health emphasizes that their content is expert written
Right.
and medically reviewed.
Hmm.
This means that articles like, for example,
Yeah.
How does magnesium help reduce anxiety? Are likely written or at least vetted by someone like Dr. Quimby, who
So-
specializes in that area.
Okay, so they're bringing in the experts.
Yeah.
But are they just relying on credentials?
Yeah.
What about their editorial process?
Well, they have a whole section dedicated to their integrity promise.
Okay.
They emphasize that their content is based on scientific evidence.
Mm-hmm.
They have a rigorous medical review process, and they commit to staying up to date with the latest research.
Yeah, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
It sounds like they're trying to be transparent about their approach
Uh-huh.
and demonstrate why their content is trustworthy.
Right.
But I'm also curious about how they make this information engaging.
Yeah.
It's one thing to be accurate,
Right.
but it's another thing to actually make people want to read it right.
You're absolutely right. And that's where sections like October Picks come in.
Okay.
It's like a curated collection of timely and relevant content
Right.
that goes beyond just the hard science.
Okay.
They have articles on things like World Mental Health Day, self-care strategies,
Uh-huh.
and navigating all the pumpkin spice options that come with fall.
It's like they're acknowledging that health isn't just about
Right.
dry facts and figures.
Yeah.
It's also about lifestyle enjoyment and even indulging in seasonal treats.
Exactly.
But are those articles just fluffy listicles, or do they have any real substance?
Let's take a closer look at one of their October picks. The article on natural sleep aids for seasonal changes.
Mm-hmm.
You know how many people struggle with sleep as the days get shorter?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I find myself reaching for that extra cup of coffee
Yeah.
in the afternoon just to stay awake.
Yeah.
What does the article suggest?
It actually delves into the science behind
Yeah.
why we might experience sleep disruptions during seasonal transitions.
Okay.
They discuss how changes in light exposure
Right.
can affect our melatonin production,
Okay.
which regulates our sleep-wake cycle.
That's interesting. I always just assumed it was because it gets darker earlier.
Yeah.
But I never really thought about the hormonal changes involved.
Right. And this is where health shines.
Mm-hmm.
They take these seemingly simple things we experience
Yeah.
and break them down in a way that's informative but also engaging.
Right.
They then go on to recommend specific natural sleep aids like melatonin supplements and calming herbal teas, while also suggesting lifestyle adjustments like creating a relaxing bedtime routine
Right.
and limiting screen time before bed.
Okay, so they're not just throwing out random tips.
Yeah.
They're actually connecting those tips to the underlying science.
Right.
It feels like they're trying to empower people to understand their bodies and make informed decisions about their health.
Exactly. It seems health is trying to make complex health information digestible and relatable. But it's not just about providing information.
Right.
It's also about helping you put that information into action.
Okay, I see where you're going with this.
Yeah.
Let's talk about their What to Watch section.
Okay.
They have a whole section dedicated to product recommendations and awards, like Skin Awards 2024 and Fitness Awards 2024.
Yeah, it's like they're recognizing that navigating the world of health and wellness products can be overwhelming.
Right.
You're bombarded with options, but how do you know which ones are actually effective and trustworthy?
That's a great question. And I think that's where we'll pick up in part 2 of our deep dive.
Okay.
We'll explore how health vets these products and whether their recommendations live up to their integrity promise.
Sounds good.
Stay tuned because we're going to unpack all of that and more right after. Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
This imaginary break
that
we don't have.
Right.
Welcome back to our deep dive into health. Before the break, we were talking about how health not only provides a wealth of information, but also offers guidance on specific products with their What to Watch section.
Yeah.
I'm curious to know more about how they decide what makes the cut. It feels like a bit of a minefield, recommending products in the health and wellness space.
It definitely requires a delicate balance. You want to offer helpful suggestions,
Right.
but also avoid any appearance of bias or promotion.
Right.
It seems health addresses this through their product vetting process. They actually have a dedicated page outlining their criteria and methodology.
Okay, so what do they look for in a product? Do they spill all the secrets?
They do share quite a bit.
Okay.
They emphasize independent testing. So it's not just relying on a company's claims.
Right.
They look for scientific evidence to back up any health benefits being touted.
Okay.
And they consult with their network of experts to get informed opinions from various specialties.
That makes sense. It's like a multi-layered approach to ensure they're recommending products that are safe, effective, and actually live up to the hype. I know I've fallen for my fair share of miracle products in the past. So it's reassuring to see a site taking this kind of rigorous approach.
It definitely adds a layer of trust, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Knowing they're not just randomly picking products or promoting those with the biggest marketing budgets.
Right.
They seem to be genuinely trying to sift through the noise and highlight those that align with their values of evidence-based information and reliable recommendations.
Absolutely. But even with the most rigorous vetting process, there are so many products out there.
Right.
How do they even begin to choose which ones to feature? Do they focus on specific categories or themes?
It appears they organize their recommendations in a way that mirrors their overall content.
Okay.
So, for example, in their Eat Well section, where you find articles on healthy eating, you might also see recommendations for things like trick books, kitchen gadgets, or even meal delivery services that align with those dietary principles.
That's a clever way to connect the dots for people.
Right.
It's like saying, here's the information and here's some tools to help you actually put that information into practice.
Yeah.
Does this approach carry over to their other content areas as well?
It does. They seem to apply the same principle to various categories In their fitness section, you might find recommendations for workout gear, fitness trackers, or even apps that guide you through different exercise routines.
Right.
And in their mental wellness section, you might come across suggestions for mindfulness apps, aromatherapy products, or books on stress management techniques.
It's like they're trying to provide a holistic approach.
Yeah.
Addressing not just the informational needs, but also the practical aspects of incorporating these healthy habits into your life.
Exactly.
But I'm also curious about the scope of their content.
Okay.
We've talked a lot about healthy eating, fitness, and mental well-being.
Right.
But do they go beyond those areas?
They do delve into a variety of other health-related topics. For instance, they have a whole section dedicated to skincare, where they offer advice on everything from choosing the right products for your skin type to understanding the science behind anti-aging ingredients.
So it's not just about internal health, but also how you care for your external well-being.
Yeah.
Do they go beyond the individual and look at health from a broader perspective?
Yes. They definitely seem to acknowledge that health is influenced by more than just individual choices. They have articles on topics like environmental health, public health policies, and even the impact of social determinants of health.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
It shows a recognition that health is a complex issue.
Yeah.
Shaped by multiple factors, from our personal choices to the systems and structures in place.
Right.
It's not just about telling people to eat their vegetables.
Right.
It's about looking at the bigger picture.
Exactly. And it brings us back to that initial feeling of being overwhelmed by all the health information out there. What health seems to be doing is trying to create a curated space where you can access reliable information, but also get guidance on how to apply that information to your own life.
Right.
And even advocate for a healthier world around you.
It's like they're saying, yes, it's complex, but we're here to help you make sense of it all.
Yeah.
I'm really impressed with the depth and breadth of their content.
It's pretty impressive.
But I also want to touch on something we mentioned earlier, diversity and inclusion. In a space like health and wellness, where representation has historically been an issue, how does health address that?
That's a crucial point, and it seems to be something health takes seriously. They have a diversity pledge on their site, outlining their commitment to representing a wide range of voices and perspectives. They acknowledge that health information needs to be tailored to the unique needs of diverse communities.
That's great to hear.
Yeah.
Does that commitment translate into the actual content they produce?
Yeah.
Do we see diverse voices and perspectives reflected in their articles and experts?
From what I've seen, they seem to be making an effort to showcase diversity. And their expert panel, their article topics, and even the imagery they use. For instance, when browsing their mental health section, I noticed articles specifically addressing the mental health challenges faced by LGBTQ+ youth and the unique stressors experienced by people of color.
That's fantastic. It's so important to acknowledge that health is not a one-size-fits-all concept. Different communities have different needs. And health seems to be recognizing that.
It signals a shift away from the traditional, often homogenous portrayal of health and wellness towards a more inclusive and representative approach.
This has been such an insightful exploration of health and all they offer.
Yeah, it has.
We've talked about their commitment to timely news, their in-depth articles, their product vetting process, and their efforts to promote diversity and inclusion. It's clear they're aiming to be more than just another health website.
They seem to be striving to create a platform that empowers individuals to take control of their health, while also advocating for a more equitable and inclusive health landscape for everyone.
Exactly. But before we wrap up, I'm curious to hear your overall impression. What stood out to you the most about health?
What's truly fascinating is how they managed to weave together all these different elements. The news, the in-depth articles, the practical advice, the product recommendations, to create a cohesive and engaging experience. It's like they're recognizing that health is not just about information. It's about a holistic approach that encompasses knowledge, action, and advocacy.
That's a great way to put it. Health seems to be more than just a source of information. It's a guide, a resource, and even a community for those seeking to prioritize their well-being.
Yeah, I agree.
But what about you, dear listener?
What are your thoughts?
We encourage you to explore health. for yourself.
Yeah.
See what resonates with you, and perhaps discover your new go-to resource for navigating the complex world of health and wellness.
Absolutely.
And as we wrap up this deep dive, let's leave our listeners with a thought-provoking question. Given all the information we've covered, what aspect of health piqued your interest the most?
Yeah.
And how might you utilize their resources to enhance your own well-being?
Good question.
Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into health. We've covered a lot of ground, from their breaking news and in-depth articles to their product recommendations and commitment to diversity.
It's been quite a journey.
Now, I'm curious to get your overall impressions. What has stood out to you the most about health so far?
I think what's most impressive is how health manages to balance scientific with the practical.
Right.
They don't shy away from complex medical topics, but they present the information in a way that's engaging and accessible. They also go beyond just explaining the what and delve into the why, helping you understand the science behind the recommendations.
You're right. It's not just a list of do's and don'ts.
Right.
It's about empowering you with the knowledge to make informed decisions about your own health.
Exactly.
And they seem to do a good job of connecting that knowledge to action with their product recommendations and practical tips.
Yeah, I agree.
But as we wrap up, I want to bring it back to you, the listener.
Yes.
Yeah.
After this deep dive into health, what resonates with you?
Yeah.
Is there a particular article or section that you found particularly insightful or helpful? We'd love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, maybe you're intrigued by their approach to sleep hygiene or their recommendations for managing anxiety naturally.
Right.
Perhaps you're inspired to try a new healthy recipe or incorporate a new fitness routine into your week.
Or maybe this deep dive has sparked a curiosity to explore a specific health concern in more depth.
Right.
Or to learn more about the science behind a particular health claim.
Whatever it may be, we encourage you to take this newfound knowledge and apply it to your own life. Explore the resources health offers, see what resonates with you, and continue on your journey toward a healthier and more informed you.
Remember, your health is a lifelong journey, and there's always more to learn and discover.
We hope this deep dive has provided you with valuable insights and inspiration to continue on that path.
And that brings us to the end of our exploration of health. We hope you enjoyed this deep dive and found it informative and engaging. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and most importantly, stay healthy.